Michelle Obama wrote a book on personal growth. I had to listen to it, and I did, and it was splendid. And in this video, I will share my favorite points from the strategies and thoughts that she presents in The Light We Carry. Hey everyone, welcome here. If you don't know me, my name is Maika. I'm a psychologist, and this is Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership. Self-leadership is important because before we go out there into the world and live our best lives, make our highest contributions, we first need to learn how to be a leader of our own inner world. Now to the book, I loved it. It's incredibly well written, a wonderful mix of stories and wisdom. It has 3 parts. The first part is about nourishing our light. The second is about the light that relationships can bring into our life. And the third is about letting our light shine, even in the face of obstacles. Here are my favorite points and strategies from The Light We Carry. Number 1, start small. In the first chapter, Michelle Obama shares that she discovered knitting in the past few years as a way of stepping into a mental space that is uncomplicated, simple, small, and as a way of giving her inner world time to process. And the way she described how helpful knitting is to her made me start wondering if I should also start knitting. I'm not fully there yet, but she made it sound very appealing. Does any one of you knit? My grandmother loved knitting. I think she spent the last 20 years of her life knitting. In any case, the point that she's making is whenever things get complicated, messy, too big, step into a space that is simple, manageable, through some sort of activity, movement, hobby, anything that gives you an experience that allows you to decompress. Number 2, get to know your fearful mind. She also talks about how in a different version of history, before she was First Lady of the US, she could have let her fear of what Barack Obama's candidacy would mean for their family get in the way of supporting that choice, and how she got to know her fearful mind. She got to the bottom of what she was actually afraid of and realized that it was change. And that was a fear she wasn't willing to give any decision power to. So she encourages her readers to get to know their fearful mind and really see, what am I actually afraid of? And is avoiding that risk worth losing all the good things that could come along with taking that risk? She shares how with each step that she took throughout her life, alongside her fear, but nevertheless doing what mattered to her, it made it easier to take the next step after that. We can either learn to be what she calls comfortably afraid and live a full life, or our life will get smaller and smaller and our fears will get bigger and bigger. Number 3, start kind, is what she calls simple and short messages of kindness and enoughness that we can send to ourselves and others. For ourselves, she gives the example of a friend of hers that when he sees himself in the mirror in the morning, he says, "Hey, buddy." And for others, this can be a smile and welcoming face whenever they enter the room. This way, we can validate our own light and the light that others carry. Number 4, rewrite the story of not mattering. Throughout the book, Michelle Obama shares how she's dealt with messages from society, other people, telling her that she doesn't matter. And she shared that on her book tour for her first book. She also heard a lot of stories from others feeling like they don't matter. She talks about how when we're different, we can be told that we don't matter, be that because of the color of someone's skin, their gender, sexuality, or any other difference, and how hard it is to be part of a system that wasn't built for your success because of that difference. How difficult it is to have the story written for you that you don't belong, that you don't deserve, and that you don't matter. And in connection with this, she talks about how important it is to rewrite this story that's been written for you, to write your own story, to remove yourself from other people's mirrors and find confidence. To do this, as she also explains, we need to find validation from within inside of ourselves. This is how she's rewritten her story of not mattering. I'm tall, and that's a good thing. I'm a woman, and that's a good thing. I'm Black, and that's a good thing. I am myself, and that is a very good thing. Your limits aren't mine. This is so beautiful. What are the things that you've been told are the reason why you don't matter? Maybe you also want to write them down like this. I am fill in the blank. That's a good thing. This doesn't remove the obstacles, but it makes them less threatening, and it gives you the confidence to be visible and active. It turns messages of not mattering into reminders why we persist. Number 5, playing it cool gets you nowhere. This is something she said in the second part of the book, which is about friendships, life partnerships, and parenting. She emphasizes how we can't really get close to someone and connect to someone in friendships and dating especially if we prioritize playing it cool and we don't enter that space of uncertainty and risk in which we open ourselves and show ourselves as who we are authentically. Number 6, is your armor serving you? In the last part of the book, she talks a lot about our armor and about balancing how much we armor up. On the one hand, it's natural to be a tough and strong version of ourselves in some situations, for example, at work, and to keep some things to ourselves. But if we armor up too much, it slows us down. It makes us less agile. Being too armored up, too defensive, stands in the way of connection, empathy, and belonging. We can end up discovering that we're a lot less alone than we thought all along once we share our story and open ourselves to the stories of others. Number 7, going high matters. In the last chapter, Michelle Obama shares that the question she's asked most is, what does it mean to go high? As you're probably aware of, she's known for having said, when they go low, we go high. And she explains that it's a simple motto from her family that boils down and expresses everything that they stand for and live by. Operating with integrity, living with love, faith, humility, empathy, doing your best by others, trying hard, reflecting, and keeping perspective. And she emphasizes that it always matters, that we need to recommit to going high over and over, and that it's more than just a spirit. It's also doing the work, getting active, and not allowing oppression and cruelty to stand unchallenged. Going high is not about if we are active, but about how we are active. It's also really important to her to express that with going high, she never meant to recommend to be unbothered, removed, or complacent, but rather to her it means to take our hurt and anger and transform it into constructive plans and action. And we also, to be able to do that, need to remember that, or realize, let it sink in, that we do matter, that we're not helpless, and that the small things we can do are meaningful and matter as well. Have you read or listened to The Light We Carry? If yes, what are your favorite thoughts and stories from it? Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. If you want to, remember to hit the subscribe button and check out my free 7-day email challenge called Courage to Do What Matters. The link is in the description box. Till next time, take care, and remember to feed that inner knowing that you matter.